What's up, my chaotic crew? Bentley Michaels here. Hey, have you reviewed us on iTunes yet, or your podcast app of choice? If you haven't, please do, because we want to read them on air. In this part right now, I could be reading your words going like, hey, Bentley's the best, and Durock stinks, and like Yamhorn, why does it do so much weird stuff? And, Ren's pretty cool. And then like, oh, hey, it's Ulagon. Oh, the voices are good. Hold on, listen to this ad real quick.
Hey everybody, it is Seth here, the DM for Cheaper by the Dungeon. If you are looking for some D&D, then get your BUTT over here because we have exactly what you need. Cheaper by the Dungeon is a 5th edition D&D podcast, and you can find us literally anywhere you listen to this stuff. We are launching our new campaign September 4th, so why don't you come and join us? Couldn't hurt, right? We're going to be looking for some treasure. It's treasure hunter themed, but not in the way you'd think. So, think about it. Anyways, Cheaper by the Dungeon, September 4th. See you there.
Oh, he sounds like a Seth. Please go Listen. Anyways, hey, have you gone to our Patreon yet? Check out our feed. Once a month, we're going to be releasing the Unbriefing episodes for free on our feed, which is normally what you get for $1 over on Patreon. Also, go to our YouTube channel. Oh, babies, we're filling it up. Woo-wee! Now, we need to get ready for this week's episode. Oh, there's so much fantastical stuff. Here we go.
In a vast landscape full of adventurers, you are now listening to the world of chaotic amateurs.
And welcome back to Chaotic Amateurs. Oh, did we break the internet? No, but we're working on it. We're jumping on that internet's back because we are the best and the biggest and the baddest D&D 5e play podcast ever. I am your host for Season 2 and your DM, Bentley Michaels. To my right, I have...
Caleb is Yamhorn Daril.
Dash as Peleus Earth.
Red is Durock Dragonsbane. Milo is Ren.
And last time, big ol' info dump for you guys. So much stuff. You learn the name of the world, Dawania. You learn stuff about gods, playing for worlds in a universal gambling ring. Not quite that, but kind of. One thing that should be clarified in that whole thing is that if the other gods, and I forgot to say this because it was on a separate page, if the other gods can bring about the demise of another god's planet, in this case, Zarvog taking over, or, whatever, and, it weakens that god, and they can be killed, and they can be erased. Little fun.
Our whole world can be...
No. Your god. So in this case, Bahamut, if he loses, he's going to be super, super weak because, he's got a whole world of control and power and that sort of thing. And he draws power from the world and that sort of thing. But once he gets rid of that, he's got like that, if he disengages, they've got an opportunity attack. Bada bing. They're playing, they're playing for worlds. Some gods play for universes. You also learned that, certain races could have been brought to the planet. You guys learned there's some dragons on some continents. You learned the name of a couple continents, that sort of thing. You already knew the name of one, Yamhorns, Rel Sarin. Hey, thanks for doing that work for me.
You're welcome.
It's like, I'll just use that.
So did halflings originate here? And did Ulagon get established here, or is he from somewhere else?
Oh, who knows?
Okay.
We haven't got there yet because I'm still wrapping up last week's episode. So for everybody else, that's the crap that happened on this trap. I don't know what that means. And when last we left our heroes, Durock likely said something about being a dwarf and he's better than something. And then Ren and Yamhorn, being so shocked after seeing each other, had 5 minutes of meaningless conversation, forgetting that there was 2 magical items floating in midair in the middle of this big round circled area. And we are now with Ren and Yami.
I feel like you would see the magical items before I would.
So I squint and try to see what they are.
Okay. You're not just going to walk onto the platform, or
Not. Well, I'm not yet.
okay?
Yeah. Okay. So I see you look over at him, and I look up at him, and I go, "Oh, those must be the items." And I'll walk up the platform to where they are.
Okay. Ren. You see two very cool magical items. You see a cloak, and while it looks too big for you, it also looks too small for Yamhorn. It looks to be made of dragon's hide. Next to it, made of a similar looking dragon's hide, is a shield floating in midair. It looks super, super cool.
I like shields. I'm gonna approach the shield.
Yamhorn, what are you doing?
I feel like as he starts to walk up on the platform, I would try to stop him. Ren! And then he nimbly gets out of my grasp, and I shrug and follow him up.
Okay.
And I inspect the items.
Okay. Well, Ren, you're going to grab the shield first.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Okay. Ren, this is a very unique looking shield. While traditionally round, does not look like it would protect you from much because it seems super, super thin. It's a simple round concave shield with straps covering the back where you can put your arms through. Although the shield is about as big as you are at this point. It looks like it's just like a sort of simple wooden frame. As you kind of like maybe poke at it, you're like, oh, it seems like wood under here. But the entire thing is covered in the finest of black dragon scales, perfectly wrapped around the entire thing before what looked like, fine black dragon scale straps were put to it. It's a perfect fit. It's like it was vacuumed formed to this. If you'd like to pluck it out of the air, you may.
I do.
Okay. It's the lightest thing that you've ever felt in the entire world, and it kind of shrinks a little bit. And as you pluck it out of the air, it shrinks to what looks like it would be the perfect size now for you to hold. Yamhorn, upon seeing this, what do you do?
If I see that nothing bad has happened to him, I pluck the cloak thing.
Okay.
And study it in my hands.
Okay. As you grab the cloak, it seems to grow in size to like what it seems like it would fit you. It looks very similar in to the shield in as much as that it seems as though by quick glance, unless you were to take the shield and like put them up next to each other, the same sort of black dragon hide, which is, like a brand new leather jacket, but imagine the scales of a dragon. But in the sunlight, how, Ilindreo's scales, made her extra dark bronze and almost like an emerald, shining through with the green. This seems to almost become like opaque and gray, and as you kind of move it around in the sunlight. But if you're not moving it around, it's just the most beautiful, like jet black with maybe hints of gray in it. Duroc, at this point in time, it's like a movie theater pops up, a chair pops down behind you, and you can see your friends, but it looks like a projection of your friends, and you're watching them examine these items. So what would you guys like to do? Do you guys want to, trade items around? Do you want to do, what?
Do I remember if Zarbog's
Zarvog, Zarvog.
Okay. If his skin was black?
It was red.
He's red.
Okay. Would I recognize the black scales of these items with a history check?
No.
Okay.
Ren, do you mind? Can we swap these real quick? Because as soon as I grabbed this thing, it looked too small for me. But now that I'm holding it, it looks my size. I'm curious if the shield does the same thing.
I'll hand it to you
Okay.
just to see what happens.
So we swap items to see if there's any sort of adjustment.
The shield grows to Yamhorn. The cloak shrinks to Ren.
Oh, these are
Interesting.
definitely magical.
What gave it away?
Was it been floating in midair?
There's magic afoot.
And as I'm kind of holding this material in my hand, I look over to Inedril,
Inindrel?
and I say, "This appears to have dragon scale on it. Do you know that the dragon this came from?"
Why, yes. Sorry.
No, keep going.
I don't want to get yelled at.
Is that your B. Arthur impression? One more time for me, please.
I'm looking at the scales, and I notice that they appear to be dragon scales, and I look over at her and I say, do you know the dragon that these came from?"
I do. They came from my brother. My brother.
Hello, Mada.
Hello, fada. Look at this jacket. It's
Came
from
from
my
my
brother. No, she looks at you and sort of a look of sadness comes across her face. And she says to you, "They came from my brother. What makes them so magical and wonderful is that they were willingly given to me. His scales, his skin. That's the best kind of dragon's hide things that you can get."
So he volunteered. He
The
sacrificed himself.
No, he didn't kill himself in order to give these things to me. He just, shed some skin.
Oh, phew. Okay. All right. I was
Yamhorn, where are you from?
Rail Sarin.
Then you would know who my brother is. Or at least maybe have heard lore.
Oh my word! Is it Frank? I've heard so much about him.
Yes. Frank the Dragon.
Frank the Dragon.
No.
Oh.
Nearsis.
Nearsis. Oh yeah, Nearsis. Can I just...
One could say he really was near sis.
Okay. I want to go through the depths of my mind to see if I can remember anything.
Roll me a history.
Was a great pun.
Do I still have...
Great is the wrong adjective for that.
It only lasts like a minute.
Okay.
You are standing next to each other.
Anything? 7.
You didn't pray to Ren.
Do I need to get on my knees every time now? Is that how this works?
Just to get down the right height.
Yeah. Okay. 7?
Yeah.
And she's just looking at you, and you're sitting there, like, with your fingers and on your chin, like, looking up and tapping your foot, like,
Nearsis.
And she finally just gives up and, like, looks at Ren and is like, oh, boy.
Ooh.
And,
I'll roll a history.
yeah, you're a well-traveled man. I'll allow it.
It's going to be 22.
Then Ren smacks Yamhorn and relays to him, knowing what we know now, that would mean that her brother was the protector of your landmass. But if I remember my history correctly, he was killed during the first reign of Zarvog. Which is all true.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I didn't pay attention in school.
We nicknamed him Frank in my village.
Well, I can tell you, Inindril, that we will use these items to the best of our ability
How
and honor near sis.
How are they going to help us defeat the dragon that has been summoned?
Oh, Ren. Have you guys decided who gets what?
I would like the shield.
You had to have
Funny-
heard his solo
funny thing
episode.
about
to
shields.
know Yamhorn's thing about
Why do you
shields.
think I made it? This dude tried to get a shield for like 15 episodes.
Yeah.
It was one of the most embarrassing. Like, I mean,
We all know,
from
right? We
Yamhorn's
talked about
no, it was
perspective,
pretty
yeah.
bad. It's pretty bad.
Not even with faking rolls could they win.
Yeah. could I maybe? Let's see here. Do you have? Oh, I can't really ask that in game. If only there was a way that we could look at them and assess their magical abilities.
Yeah, if any of us had any magic abilities,
Yeah.
it would be really helpful.
Peleus?
If
Why don't you
Yeah.
take a look for us?
where's Billy?
Peleus is actually still in another plane, and he's looking at his own magical item. We now cut to Peleus. Peleus, you have seen the item floating. You were told in last week's episode, like, oh, look, it's the other half. And I believe your response was, I'll just wait till you can say, until you know, I can go up there. And so, like a little puppy, you're kind of like bouncing back and forth. And she goes, all right, you can go up there.
Alright, here we go, yeah, alright. Peleus runs up and he grabs it real excited and he just tries to like jam it together. Like he's not even really like inspecting it. He's just like, come on, make magic happen. Turn me into a god or, ooh, a dragon. Does this turn me into a dragon?
What you see happen is, you notice, I'll sort of draw this a little bit more specifically, is the part that you had on your, if it was on your chest, if you were, you know, POVing it, it was the left side. And so there was like this little sort of sliver that was always missing, and then it came down and out, and then it was like a little round circle down at the bottom, and then it was just kind of flat. So now, as you're jamming it in, you see that it's kind of like a little tooth part that goes in. In the middle, as I said, is this big red gem, and the other part just seems to magically fit. So you're kind of clicking it together, and Inindrel says, Peleus, possibly a lighter touch. Just ease it in.
Well, alright.
Because you were just like, clank, 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 clank.
Yeah.
Like a wind-up monkey with cymbals.
Yeah. Ting, 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 ting. Alright. So Peleus takes it and he like gently just like fits it into place. Mm-hmm. And I want to see if I can sense what the stats are.
All right.
That's good, Peleus. So funny. What a great item. That's so wild.
We now cut to Durok.
So I'm sitting in my movie projector, eating popcorn, watching this unfold, and I'm just like making conversation with Inindrel and just asking her questions about, you know, the dragons and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, so what'd they get up there?
You can see what they got.
Oh, you know, it's weird that they're getting a shield, because like before I was going to ask if like maybe I could have a scale so that I could carry it and later on turn it into a shield. It would be like cool, you know, because you're so big.
No.
Forget about it. Anyways, so like what do we have to do after this whole thing? Like,
All in due time, Durok, all in due time. We're still waiting on your friends. As you can see, they're debating on who gets what right now.
I can tell, and I'm sure Yamhorn is making it way more difficult than it needs to be. He's got a thing about shields, I've noticed.
We see right now Yamhorn has his arms crossed and his like nose pointing to the sky, and he just looks like all snooty. He's tapping his foot, and looks like he's pouting. And Ren has just got his hands up, like, "What?
Yeah, Red doesn't know anything about these shields.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
uses a shield,
So
and he's
now-
never seen
so
you use
now-
a shield.
None of this is heard. There's no audio to this film. It's she finds it funnier for Durok to have to do this. And so now we cut back to Ren and Yamhorn, who are discussing
Ren,
the shield and the cloak.
why don't I'll try on the cloak. How about that? And I'll see if I feel anything.
Okay.
And then you wield that sword. Should I like maybe try to punch you and you block with it and we see what happens?
That'll work. Sure.
Okay. So I put on the cloak.
Okay.
Does anything happen?
It fits you perfectly, even with your armor underneath it, and it actually, kind of makes your studded leather armor like match it in color. Like
Ooh,
it's a
like a
little
chameleon
darker, it's a
kind of
little glossier, it's like a little bit more gray.
Cool.
You look very, very regal, and you definitely feel power coming off of it. What that power is, you do not know yet.
Looks real good on you.
Punch me in my stomach. Go ahead.
Okay.
As hard as you can.
I'll use my staff and poke him.
In the stomach?
Yeah. I'll just
Okay.
give him one of those jabs.
Wherever the cloak is, yeah.
Oh, I might have actually hit. It's going to be 16.
Meets. Unless it does something to my armor class.
Meets beats. You hit him right in the gut because the cloak, he didn't fasten it, so it's just his armor, and he hit him right in the gut, and no damage necessary. This is a friendly Highland.
Oh,
You just go like,
Didn't seem to do much.
you're like, I guess I should specify next time.
Yeah.
Maybe hit me where the cloak is.
yeah. All right, I tightly clasp it around my body like I'm wearing a bathrobe in the wind.
Okay.
Okay, catching my breath one more time. Maybe a little less juice.
All right.
Just like full body swing across your torso.
It was like a 7. I don't know.
All right. He hits you, and while you feel like a stick hit you, and it definitely wasn't comfortable,
I flex this time.
it's not like all of a sudden it just stopped.
Okay.
So you assume that if there was some sort of like invisible shield power or something like that, that's not maybe, from him hitting you with the stick.
Yeah.
It makes you look regal. Maybe it like gives you like charisma
Charisma
powers
bonus,
or something so that you can get us across bridges more easily.
Yeah, I'm just really trying to imagine Durok watching us do this on this platform.
Doing? You know what would be great is a fart track. They should do okay. All right, Ren, you ready? It's your turn.
All right, hold up the shield.
I grab my hammer with both hands.
Not too hard.
Just shatter the shield right then and there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to take it in both
Ren,
hands.
what's your AC?
I think it's 16.
Okay.
I'm going to take it in both hands, but just so I can control
Oh, no,
it better.
it's 18 with the shield.
And here I go.
Okay.
Non-lethal damage. Oh, jacked. Unless you want an 18.
I don't think you have to roll unless you're like actually trying to like.
Yeah, I'm letting you hit me.
What's that?
9.
Okay. What do you do?
I like to think that I'm gradually getting harder and harder of a strike.
Okay.
So it's like tink, 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 tink until something happens.
Okay. So you tink, and then finally, like, you give it a good whack. You come over like you're going to hit like a tire or something like that because you just get so frustrated.
Yeah.
And you hit, but it just immediately stops and it sends reverberations down your hand.
Oh, that didn't feel good. Did you?
And you drop your hammer for a second.
Uh-oh. Did you feel that?
Did I?
No.
I couldn't hang on to my hammer.
I think this is a good shield.
Yeah, but this cloak is awesome too.
You look real fancy.
Yeah, why don't you try it on? We'll see how you look. Okay. But it's only fair. Okay. It's only fair. Let's swap it. Let's swap it and see if there's anything that happens.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. So he takes off the cloak and he slowly like holds it out as you're bringing out the shield.
2.
And then he grabs it and like holds it out and you like and just drops like the cloak on you, so it kind of like and as it hits you, it kind of like shrinks up to size, so then you can put it on. When you put it on, it does something similar to your clothes and armor if you're wearing any, where it sort of like terraforms it and makes it like color-wise work well with the shield. What were you wearing before, by the way?
I think I had scale mail. It was black with gold accents.
Okay, that stays in place, then that works. And you're just wearing just that, like pants, or is it the whole body scale mail?
Oh, I had like pastel colored clothes on.
Okay. This all kind of turns into like, you've got like a nice gray, same material, same cut, same look. They're just black now, pants on. And you got like a nice, like sort of like a gray, like undershirt on it's the exact same cut. It's just like the colors changed. And you look, and it matches like the cloak, and you kind of look like, a little death hound. Like, you're just like, you kind of look at yourself like up and down, and you're like, if I had a scythe and I put my hood up, I don't know, could look like little death coming after you.
Ren, you look creepy cool.
I'm feeling really good in this, actually. You want me to hit you?
How about I punch you?
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with the.
Wait, what? No.
So I hit him with the stick,
And I reflexively get
All right.
behind the shield.
Roll a.
Can I just do the tap?
No, hit him, roll it, and add whatever it is that you roll for your.
Yeah, that's 18.
Okay.
It's a hit, assuming the shield doesn't.
You hit it, and similar to Yamhorn's thing, all of a sudden it stops and it shakes, and you drop your business, and you go, oh.
It's a pretty cool shield.
Okay, Ren, warn me.
We cut
next
to
time.
Duroc. You've seen them. Yeah, you're on your second bucket of popcorn. You're like, hey, can I get a refill? She's like, only if you watch another card trick. Yeah, so we got to Duroc, and he's watching all this happen. You're seeing your friends like trade back and forth. You're watching the items grow and shrink. You're seeing them whack each other. What are your thoughts? What are you saying?
It just reminds me of like back when I was a soldier and people would be like, yo, check out my new armor. And then they walk out and they have just like a steel-plated cup on. They're like, take your best shot. And then somebody would line up with a crossbow and aim it like right at the cup. That's exactly what's happening right here, except it's not.
Except it's not a thing called
Jackass.
Bulgarum Troopers.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I want to take a chance real quick to ask Inandrail about if she can just like, can you do this thing for my sword? Just like attune it already?
No, that's not how this works, Duroc. You've been given plenty of opportunity to tune, and I'm pretty sure that while recently you've been taking it more seriously, especially out on the sea with Peleus. You could have pretty much unlocked this thing had you been more vigilant since getting it during your travels.
So so what else can I do with this thing, like, once I get it going?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah?
And we cut back to Ren and Yamhorn.
Okay. I'm when you cut back in, I'm winding up my punch.
Okay.
And I go to punch.
Where are you going to punch him?
Wherever the cloak is.
We're just kind of like, no, wait. He just likes the way it looks more than anything.
Okay.
And it's a 16 if necessary.
And Ren, what's your AC?
Without a shield, it's 16.
Without a shield?
Yeah.
Okay. It does not hit.
Wait a second. I felt like that was a pretty good punch.
Yeah, you punch him in the arm, and what happens is it's like you got mad and punched a wall that didn't give, and then you were like, that was really stupid. Now my hand hurts.
And I shake it off, and now with my other hand.
What? No.
Okay.
15.
Same thing happens, and you take 3 bludgeoning damage to your hand since you went out for a second time. And Indrail was like, well, somebody has to learn a lesson.
Hold on. I think I got this, and I wind up for a kick.
Okay.
Stop beating me up.
15.
You lose 2 more hit points to your foot.
Okay. It must be magical armor. That's the best that I can figure out, because
I really just like the way I look in it,
Like,
honestly.
Ren, you got hit, and you were like, and it's like, it's just like you looked at it, it'd be like, like a 2-year-old punching you. You're like, what? Get out of here. And then like when he kicked you like in the arm because he was going to try to like topple you over like a pin because he's starting to get pissed. And then like it just like stopped it. Like you kind of like felt like it'd be like someone like, hey man, how are you? And like clap your arm. You're just like, get out of here, Yamhorn.
Yeah, I turn away and kind of mumble like yeah, I wasn't giving it everything. It's okay.
I kick you twice.
Yeah.
Well, if you want that shield, you can have it. I'm really liking the way
All
I
right.
look in this.
I'm
cloak.
liking the way this feels, and I feel like I got some proving to do with a shield.
Okay.
And I feel like this is my chance, my shot.
Okay.
So I
Duroc, Ren, and Yamhorn. You've decided on the cloak, Ren?
yeah, I like this cloak.
Yamhorn?
Shield feels good.
So the second that they do that, Duroc fades into view, and the sort of fade in makes him choke on his popcorn. He's like, and then it all disappears, and the chair he was sitting in falls, and he falls on his butt.
Hey, enough with the gags.
She just kind of snorts.
Do I hear that?
Uh-huh.
I immediately turn to face where that came from.
You see a dwarf sitting on the ground at the foot of the stairs.
Duroc.
What'd she do to you?
She pulled the chair out from under me. Twice. At least twice.
Why'd you keep sitting down next to her?
You ever heard of Charlie Brown?
Oh, yes, the great famed knight.
So Ren's just gonna kind of pull his cloak like around his chest a little bit and
Ren.
straighten it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Duroc, check this out.
That looks really good on you. That's impressive.
Hello?
What?
Look.
Yeah, I mean, you got
I-
your pants on
Yeah.
still. That's a new...
Hey, take a swing at me.
What?
Take a swing at me.
Why?
You'll see.
Okay. I guess I just go to punch you in the face or something then.
And I definitely hold up my shield.
I think you need a roll.
I think you both need to roll if that's what you're going to do. We'll see who punches who.
$16.
What am I adding?
What'd you get?
I got a 9 on my roll.
He hit you.
I just get you like right
Does
in
his
the
arm
jaw.
break?
No, he clocks you right in the jaw
Oh, wait.
because you didn't get the shield up fast
The
enough.
shield.
And you take 2 bludgeoning damage from getting punched in the face.
You didn't wait for when I said go.
Oh, I didn't know that. I said if you're sure, and you said yes.
How
Okay.
much damage is that you've taken?
I think
Like
7,
5?
yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah.
Okay. Right here. And I point specifically at this new shield on my arm. And I say,
All my enemies hit me in the shield.
yeah,
Why would you want me to punch you in that old shield?
I think you might be impressed. I know that's troubling to hear that you might be impressed by Yamhorn.
Fine, I punched the shield.
Roll. Add your strength.
Gonna be a natty 20.
It'd be 17.
You punch him right in the shield, and your hand just stops when you hit it. There's no follow through as if like he's there that he would. Your hand just stops, and because it's your first time, no damage done.
Go ahead, try it again. Kick it if you want.
I'm all right. I think I get the gist of it. You're trying to show off this flashy new shield, trying to take the shine off of Ren here, who looks flashy as all heck in his new cloak.
I'm just trying to say, man, this is a dragon shield thing, and I think it's got some sort of inertia stopping power. It's pretty sweet. Like when Ren was holding it and I was hitting, I could not hang on to my weapon, and then the same thing happened with him with his staff. Yeah, he couldn't hang on to it.
All of a sudden, you hear a low rumble, and then the roar of Inandrail, and it freaks you all out because it's very aggressive. And she immediately snorts 2 fireballs out, one out of right and left nostril, and it's heading right for Ren and Yamhorn.
I reflexively hold up the shield.
Yeah, I'll like turn around and kind of hunker down.
Cool.
Under the cloak, like...
Yeah.
Great.
How hot do I get?
The fire hits, you feel the force, you go back a little bit, and immediately dissipates.
And I kind of confused look and check myself. And oddly, my feet and my hands from punching Ren hurt way more than that fireball just did.
Yeah, you did not feel any heat. You did not take any damage. You didn't even feel really the impact of the fire.
I look up at Indealria.
Indrail?
Indrail.
See? Indrail.
Oh, I wrote it down too.
All right.
I can't speak words.
That's all right.
No, like, does this like prevent fire from getting us?
You guys want to know the deets on those things?
Yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah.
All right.
And now that he asked that, Caleb is like, oh, dragon. We're going to fight a dragon.
We need
That
things that
probably
protect us
breathes
from
fire.
dragons.
Yeah.
Durok, you got anything to say during all this?
That's impressive.
You were
stuff.
standing right in the middle as these 2 fireballs just went right by on either side of you?
Yeah. I was like, oof.
Woof.
Yeah. Tread carefully. Next time she won't miss on purpose, Yamhorn. She won't miss on purpose.
I don't think she missed.
You're lucky. Lucky as all heck.
Durak, all respect. Actually, no respect. But she could have missed us intentionally, but I think she chose to hit us directly.
You can choose whatever you want to believe.
I don't
That's
think
fine.
I don't think she
judge
misses
a
very
man
often.
for his belief system.
Do you want to shoot a fireball at him just so he will shut up?
I love catharsis.
I would Inandrail kind of looks at you funny and then looks at Durok and says, maybe if he'd done his homework, he'd had better advantage if I did that.
Oh, homework.
And Ren says, this is why we're Ren and Friends.
And not Durak and Company.
Durok and acquaintances. Yeah.
Durak and his retainers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I want
Gentlemen.
stats.
I can block
Ren.
fire with this later on? Is that what you're saying?
And she just slaps her head, her face with her palm and like shakes her head. And then looks right at Ren and says, Ren, you are now wearing the drape of immortal ancestors. It is a cloak made of the finest and willingly given dragon hide from my brother. So cool. It gives you 4 small abilities. And as the DM, you guys got the items I wanted you guys to get. Like, it would have been fine the other way or whatever, but there's a very specific image I have in my head that I wanted to see happen, specifically with you. So, it will give you 4 small abilities, Ren. 1, you can fly for up to 4 hours per long rest at a speed of 60 feet.
Damn it, that's badass.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's OP.
And you lose 2 HP if you use all 4 hours in a row.
Huh.
Not if it's broken up. 2, you have a +2 to intelligence checks against all dragons and dragonborn while wearing the cloak. However, I can't just give you all good things. You have a -2 to your constitution if a dragon or dragonborn does an intelligence check to you. Sorry, you have a -2 if a dragon does an intelligence, or to your constitution if a dragon does an intelligence check to you. And you have a -1 to your constitution if a dragonborn does an intelligence check on you. You get +1 to your overall AC. And you have immunity to fire while wearing the cloak.
So immunity is I don't take fire damage, right?
Ren just assumes his lifelong dream of becoming a firefighter now.
Just rolls around in the campfire all day.
My dad taught me to help the community and stuff, so that's OP.
He starts setting fires just to be a hero.
Watch me work.
4 hours.
Your entire body, your entire body also has a color of your choosing, almost like a small magical aura, as long as you're wearing. So you don't have to tie it in order to keep your front protected from fire. It's like an aura thing, your feet, your shoes, that sort of thing.
And I can choose that?
It just happens while you're wearing the cloak.
Oh, that's so cool.
So your head, your everything, it has your entire body has the immunity to fire while you're wearing the cloak. You don't have to tie it closed. And your entire body has the +1. All right. Yamhorn.
Wide-eyed and rubbing his hands together.
Mm-hmm. This shield, Nearsis, the last hope of the West, is made, as the cloak was, from my brother's willingly given skin. It doesn't look like much, but it's the lightest thing that you will ever have. And it does not hinder you at all in your movements or anything of the kind. If you're wearing it strapped to your back and you need to crawl through somewhere, it will shrink magically with you. However, it will be the size that it needs to be for your body type. Now, number 1. While being worn on your back, once per long rest, you have a +5 to your AC against any triggered or sneak attack. You are also immune to magic missile attacks. However, once you are struck, the +5 is lost, and it reverts back to the normal AC of the shield. Number 2. Once you have lost your +5 and you are in combat or are starting to be attacked, or let's say you're in a cave and a bunch of darts come out of the wall and hit you.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
You go to a regular shield of +2 to your AC for 3 rounds without having to physically arm your shield from your back. If you are wearing it on your back, your entire body has a color of your choosing, like a magical energy surrounding it. However, if you do not arm your shield by round 4 of combat or attack, or if it took you more than 3 rounds to get through a cave full of darts, if you have not armed your shield by the 4th turn of yours, you have 0 benefits of the shield if it is still strapped to your back or away from you. And by round 4, whatever that may pertain to, you must be physically wielding the shield on your arm in order to keep receiving the +2 to your AC and the other benefits. Now, number 3. As long as the shield is on your person, you have a +2 to all stealth checks, as it was made from the stealthiest dragon I know. And number 4. As long as you have the shield on your arm and are wielding it, and someone is shooting fire at you, you roll a percentage dice or a D10, same thing. And that is the percentage of the fire damage that you will be blocking. So essentially, it gives the fire shooter disadvantage depending on how well you roll, or it could be completely blocked, you could completely be immune to it, depending on how big the blast is, how many people you're trying to protect, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So, Duroc, I will give you only one hint, but I think I've already sort of given it to you.
Sword have given it to me?
She huffs 2 things of fire out of her nose up in the air, is not pleased.
Love your card tricks. Well, I appreciate all of your help, my lady.
Catch me in Bulgarum next Sunday. Down by the waterfront. I will give you one clue, Duroc. If you attune to the sword, you can almost... Have you ever heard of a game? You're volleying a ball back and forth.
Yes.
Tennis, I believe it is called. It's a Relseren game. A little uppity.
Hey.
You know it is true, or Yamhorn.
Yeah.
The game sucks. It's made for stupid people who suck.
With the right roll of life, she winks at you. Little pun there for you. Think of a fireball or something like that as a reaction, and maybe you could volley it back. With the right of tuning, of course. But I'm only spitballing here.
Get it? Because spitballing is a fireball.
Well, allow me to volley that one back to you and say, I appreciate your help.
We now cut to Peleus. As soon as you sort of like do like the gentle version, it's like 2 magnets when they just go and like it just like gets together and you're a little excited and you like let go of it and it starts to glow. The gem starts to glow a little bit red. The gold. This is right up your alley. It's gold. It's sort of big and gaudy looking.
Yeah, very piratey.
Yeah. And the chain, like it starts to feel warm, not like it's going to burn you, but it's just like, oh, magic. And it becomes one thing and you see the seam completely disappear. You do now notice the designs of the amulet, which are, now that it's a complete circle, you've got the big ol', and it's gold, but I don't have a gold marker. You've got this big ol' red gem right in the middle, and for whatever you thought was maybe just flavor or whatever, now it's kind of like you see like stars above the whole top of it, and it kind of like goes down to like, you know, if it was on a clock, it'd be from like, you know, the 9 to 3 position, you know, all the way over across the top, and underneath you see just some what you kind of assume are waves and that sort of thing, and then
so it looks like a landscape, kind of.
yeah, it kind of looks like a landscape, and the gem is like almost like a setting sun type of thing in the background. That's just sort of what you get, like the stars and well, I've got a more detailed drawing of it that I'm sketching out right now as we record this. But you would like to Arcana check it?
Yes.
All right, give me that roll. Three plus 4.
Oh, can't count. 21.
Okay. All right, now you are in the thick of it. You're holding this amulet. You're starting to see all the designs, and all of a sudden, and I can send this to you in an email or whatever, so you can put it on your sheet later if you like. You realize that this amulet is called the Ghastly Eye, and it's going to be allowing you 3 specific abilities with 1 minor 4th ability.
Nice.
The first ability that you have is called Cantrip Caster. In every 3rd roll, you are allowed to cast any cantrip, whichever one that you like. So have your book open, because it's any one.
Nice.
As long as you can beat a DC 10. So if you cast on your first roll of combat, or, if like you were in the caves of SAF with them, like, whatever it is, the first turn, whatever it is, you would be able to use the ability again on your 4th roll of combat or turn. All cantrips react and follow the same rules as they normally would, and as do the players or characters reacting to those cantrips.
All right.
Number 2 is pretty baller, but you gotta be careful with it. This one is called Luck of the Draw. Upon beating a DC 12, you can re-roll your entire turn once per long rest. To everyone else, it will seem like a glitch in the Matrix or deja vu. And they're like, what? If you succeed in beating the DC 12. However, the effects cannot be undone once cast. So be careful on how you use this, because you may make things worse. So let's say, you just got stabbed and it took you down to like 1 health point or something like that because of a bad roll or a reaction roll or something like that. Or one of your fellow players, had something bad happen to them.
Yeah.
If you beat the DC 12 on your, on your turn or whatever, because like you did something and then they got hit or something, it's like it goes back to the beginning of your turn like it never happened.
Ooh,
however,
cool.
The second time, the results have to stay. So it could be better, or you could just screw everything up.
Yeah. I like that, though. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. This is the half that you've been, the half of the amulet that you've had this far. This is the half that you've sort of been using, that the people already know about. But while wearing this, you have advantage on all rolls dealing with you being on any vessel in the water.
That's sweet.
Doesn't have to do with your ship specifically. Any vessel.
Any vessel
So
on the water.
So anything. So if you're navigating the boat, like say you're in a fight on a boat or something like that, you've got advantage. If you're on a boat and it's on the water, you've got advantage for whatever you're doing on it.
That is awesome.
So if you're fighting on it, you've got advantage the entire fight if you're on a boat and it's on the water.
Hell yeah.
And then the fourth sort of minor ability that this thing provides you is that if somebody is going to shoot fire at you, somebody or something, they have disadvantage on the roll.
If they shoot fire.
Yeah, if they attack you with some sort of fire attack, fireball, dragon fire, whatever it is.
All right, it's hard to burn someone who's already hot. Yeah, I'll hate myself for that too.
But yeah, they have disadvantage when attacking you. So you so you actually get so that's a pretty good little deal.
That's awesome. I like that.
So now that your amulet is whole and complete, you have those abilities. I'll send it to you in an email so you can add it to your your player stats.
Sweet.
We now cut back to Duroc, Ren, and Yamhorn. And she says, "You now are ready for the mission that you have come here for. And that's where we end it this week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to Chaotic Amateurs. I've been your host and DM, Bentley Michaels. To my right, we have...
Caleb is Yamhorn Darrell.
Dash as Peleus Eonerth.
Rhett is Durak Dragonsbane.
Milo's Ren.
Grab your swords and keep on adventuring.
Follow us across all platforms with Chaotic Amateurs. Please subscribe, rate, and review our show on your podcast app of choice to help us climb the charts and find new adventurers. Or become a patron on Patreon to help our heroes continue their quest. Thank you for listening to Chaotic Amateurs.